Was the deadliest on Nebraska roads in nearly 2 decades. More than 220 fatal crashes. 58 of those were in Omaha, while there were 5 in Sarpy County. Tonight, KETV News Watch 7's Maddie Augustine investigates the work the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office says they're doing to make their roads safer.
This here is one of our busier intersections, Wickersham Boulevard, and that's Highway 370. Highway 370 is like the main artery through Sarpy County.
A key focus for the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office, having a consistent presence on their roadways.
We are the fastest growing county in the state, so we're not naive to the fact that we have a lot of residents, a lot of visitors, and with that comes a lot of vehicles.
Population-wise, we have almost 200,000 people, but area-wise, we're one of the smallest counties in Nebraska. We're not trying to hide from anybody, be stealthy. We want people to know we're there, that we're presence is there, and try to make stops and make a change in these areas.
But how do they decide where to patrol?
We use GDAX to pinpoint areas of the metro area, particularly Sarpy County.
DDAX, the Data Drive Approaches to Crime and Traffic Safety Network. It provides law enforcement agencies like SCSO with hotspot maps like this one.
Where the red is most concentrated, that's the most amount of crashes.
And quarterly, the maps update.
We generally know where our hot zones are, so what we're looking for is like a change in a pattern, which we don't see very frequently, but if there is a change, we'll notice it and ask what's causing this or why is this happening.
Emphasizing the importance of making contacts with drivers like this one.
Whether it's just a citation, verbal warning, even a conversation about slow down.
Last year we had far more contacts, traffic-related contacts than we've ever had, 2,800 more contacts than previous year, and that's not a small amount, that's a lot of contacts.
Those contacts, SCSO Road Patrol Captain Tori Bolt says, are a crucial part of the agency's diligent effort to lower the number of fatal crashes occurring on Sarpy County roads.
In 2018 and 2019, we were in double digits. 2019 was one of the worst years that we had for fatalities in Sarpy County. I believe we had 26 that year.
But Bolt says since 2022, the county has seen a significant decrease in that number. In 2024, 251 people were killed in crashes across the entire state of Nebraska. Only 5 of those deaths were in Sarpy County.
The most dangerous thing that most people will do today is either drive or be a passenger in a vehicle on our roadways.
Something Road Patrol Sergeant Travis Dagenar knows all too well.
When I was 18, I actually lost one of my best friends in a car crash, and I just remember thinking, like, why, what happened? And so that kind of goes into a lot of why I do what I do now, is because I know what it's like to want those answers.
Dagenar, a member of the Sarpy County Sheriff Crash Team. Bolt, one of only a handful of accredited crash reconstructionists in the state, and the commander of the 8-person unit.
We go out to every serious personal injury or fatality crash and investigate that crash from start to finish.
Spending an average of 2 to 4 hours on scene of a crash, collecting evidence and using mapping tools like these to create 2 scaled versions of the scene. The mapping devices capturing individual points in the area.
If there's any tire marks, we'll go down and take multiple points down the tire marks that are visible on the scene. So that way we can go back and redraw those marks exactly how they were on the scene.
From there, the data collected is put into the crash team's digital system, helping the team recreate diagrams like this one.
Pickup truck had ran a stop sign and was struck by a southbound rock truck.
Dagenar says they can even use the mapping to determine the speed of a vehicle. And Bolt says their ability to reconstruct crashes can help them understand problem areas that may need addressing outside of typical patrol work, like when they partner with organizations like MAPA.
Our input and our feedback to identify those areas that we've said, hey, maybe we need to take a closer look at this because we've had several crashes within this area.
Bolt says that information all plays a role in the agency's efforts to keep lowering the number of crash fatalities. But Bolt says without the help of the public, their work can only go so far.
If everybody were to treat every vehicle that they're around as if their most precious cargo is within that vehicle, I think that would go a long way.
Maddie Augustine, KTV News Watch 7.